Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about the Nikon D90 and tell you why it's still an amazing camera to get or to have or to buy in 2025. So a little history with the D90 in my experiences. I sold my Nikon D40 for the Nikon D90 back in I think about 2011 or 2012 for $600. This was just the body alone. I sold my D40 for I think 200 bucks, saved up $400 and bought the D90 that was still in excellent condition. I still remember the guy telling me that it only had like 2,000 shutters on it. It was practically brand new. And it was released back in 2008. And when I bought it, it was probably about 4 or 5 years old already. But don't let the age of this camera scare you. It is 2025 and this camera is 17 years old now. But let's just talk about the specs of this camera real quick. The Nikon D90 does have a 12 megapixel CMOS crop sensor. The ISO ranges from 200 to 3200 with a boost up to 6400. L1.0 is equivalent to ISO 100 and it also does have ISO 200. Here are two pictures, one at L1.0 which is ISO 100 and ISO 200. Let me know in the comments below if you can tell the difference, because on my computer screen and on social media I think it's nearly impossible to tell. The Nikon D90 also has 11 autofocus points. It can shoot up to 4.5 FPS. It has a 3-inch LCD screen. It has 1/4000th max shutter speed. It has one memory card slot. It has no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi. Getting to pros, one of the great things I do like about the Nikon D90 is the excellent image quality you can get from it. I would say the dynamic range on this camera is actually really good. I've brought it to Banff. I brought it on weekend trips. And here's just some pictures from Banff. And you let me know what you think about the image quality from these pictures in the comments below. Another great thing I like about this camera too is the quick autofocus. It's fairly quick, as you can see here. It can catch on focus quite fast. Not as fast as the D300S, but it's pretty quick, especially for its age. Another great thing I like about the D90 is one of the reasons why I always suggest it is that you have a super wide range of lenses to choose from. As long as that lens says it's a Nikon F mount, it will mount onto your Nikon D90. Just make sure it will autofocus, because I know some lenses from Nikon and some older brands will not autofocus, but the Nikon D90 does have the autofocus screw like this here, and will be able to autofocus with screw drive lenses like this. As you can see here, it will autofocus with these lens types. I know that Tamron, Tokina, Sigma made lenses that had these screw type lenses. So if you do find one, just make sure it autofocuses on your Nikon D90 before you buy it, or if that person is selling it, test it out before you buy it. But again, you have a super wide range of lenses to choose from like telephoto or wide lenses. That's one of the reasons why I will suggest this camera. Another great thing I do like about the D90 personally is the top panel. You'll be able to see how many pictures you're taking, your shutter speed, your aperture, what kind of continuous mode you're shooting. You know, you can shoot high, low, or timing it. You can also see what kind of file type you're using. You can also see where your autofocus points are and your white balance. So there's a lot of information you can see on the top panel, which is just nice for me. That way I don't have to go like this. I can just make my changes on the go. Another great thing I like about the Nikon D90 is the size. It's right underneath the D7000, but it's not as bulky as it. I would say it's a sweet spot between the D5000s and the D7000s, where it fits perfectly right in between there. As you can see, the D90 is closer to the D7000 compared to the D5000 or the D3000 series cameras. Another great thing about this camera is the video recording. It does video recording, but only at 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to record. After that, you have to record, press the record button, or just to press the OK button again, and it will record again. And another downside too with the video recording is that there is no autofocus. You will have to manually focus. So if you're doing action shots or anything that's action video related, this is not the camera for it. If you're doing film or short films, sure. But you know what? I've seen short films created with the D90 on YouTube. The video quality is not too bad, but it is behind in terms of today's technology. Another great thing I like about this camera is the low light performance. I've taken this to a low light event. It's one of those pumpkin lanterns events, and I would say it did fairly well. I used the Tamron 17 to 50 f2.8 throughout the whole night, and I just stood still and took my shots and made sure my settings were correct, and I think I got pretty decent pictures from it. Here are some pictures. You let me know what you think about it. And onto the bad stuff, is more nitpicking than anything else. The camera, it does not have Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi. It has no dual memory card slots. And the video autofocus is non-existent. You'll have to manually focus. So when the D90 was released, it basically took over the D80. So it was the D80 and then the D90, and then during the D90, the D300 was also there. But the D300 is definitely made more for professionals and more hobbyists. So I have done a video review on the D300S, and if you're interested in looking at that video, you can check out my channel, and it's an amazing camera. But check that out if you're more interested in the D300S. But between the D300S, the D90, and the D80, the D90 is a sweet spot between those three cameras, because you're not getting a super bulky camera. With the D90, you're getting like a little bit of the goodies from the D300S and a huge improvement in terms of like low light performance from the D80. The D90 is a really great camera, especially if you're getting more serious with camera settings. So if you're coming from like a D3000 or a D40 or a D60 or even like the D5000 cameras, I would say a D90 is a good like start, especially if you want to get more serious with your settings like shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. The D90 is a great start, especially if the D300S is too bulky for you and the D80 is too old. The D90 is that sweet spot. That's what I would recommend. Let's talk about the Nikon D90's image quality. I think the dynamic range is fairly good. As you've seen pictures earlier, it's fairly good. I'm just gonna do a slideshow of the pictures I've taken with the D90. Let you decide if the D90's image quality is good. I think the sharpness of it is fairly good if you know what you're doing with the settings, and especially the lens. A good lens goes a long ways to really improve the image quality from the D90. The first lens I used was the 50mm 1.8G, and then I actually got the 35 1.8G DX. But the 50 1.8G just sold me on this camera and that combo. I had the 50 1.8G stuck on my Nikon D90 for like almost a year because I was doing portraits, families, events with it, and it was just amazing. I think if you really want to learn photography and really craft your photography experiences, I would highly recommend that combo. I learned from it, but it might be different for you, but it's going to give you a certain challenge that you like. But anyways, let me know what is your favorite lens on the D90 or on your camera, and let everyone know in the comments below. So yeah, I think overall the image quality is fairly well. I've shared this on social media groups, and I don't think anyone would be able to tell if it came from a Sony or a Canon, especially if you've done like editing with it. But yeah, it's still, the image quality still definitely holds up. Going back to the video quality, the Nikon D90 only has three video types. It has 1280 by 720, 640 by 424, 320 by 216, and all at 24 FPS. This camera does not do 4K video or 1080. The highest it can go is 1280. Back when it was released, 1280 was the, it was definitely high definition, but nowadays we have 4K, 8K, 6K, all of that stuff. But the D90 video quality wise, it's decent. As I said earlier, people have done short films with it, so have at it, be creative, and just go out there and create. Because, you can talk about specs all day, but if you're not using the camera, those are just specs. You just gotta go out there, create with what you have, and you're gonna be better than that person that's just talking about specs. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing work, you're a lot better than doing that person that's just trolling on photography groups and talking about specs. Use it and have fun with it, be creative. It's a camera, just have fun with it. So overall, I think the D90 is an excellent camera for those that are on a budget. If you're looking at like the Nikon ZFCs or the latest mirrorless cameras, and those are like $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, and your budget is like under 500, get a Nikon D90, get 3 good lenses with it, and have at it. It's a good starting spot. You don't need the latest and greatest to be the greatest. A lot of videos you'll see online will push like, hey, you need face autofocus, 4K, all this photography jargon, but that doesn't do much if you're not really utilizing it. I would say as a beginner, this is probably a great camera to start out with. Again, especially if you're on a budget. If your budget is $300, you can find a lot of amazing DSLRs from Nikon for that price, especially if you're looking for other lenses for this camera. 3 lenses I would highly recommend, as I said earlier, is the 50 1.8G, the 35 1.8G DX, and the Tamron 17 to 50 2.8. All of these lenses you can find for well under $100. I think this Tamron 17 to 50 2.8, they range depending on the condition they're in. You can find one for under $100, but I've seen some go for like 150 or under, just depending on the condition it's in. I know the 50 1.8G you can find on the used marketplace on Facebook or somewhere else, well under $100, and the same thing goes for the 35mm 1.8G DX lens. That one you can find for under $100 all day long, and your budget's already under $300. I bought mine for I think $100 used, and then I bought the rest of the lenses for $100. I know that can be a lot of money for some, especially if you wanting to improve with the camera you have. I'm just saying the Nikon D90 is an excellent camera to start out with, especially if you're if you really want to move from like a beginner camera to like a more advanced camera. It's not going to be super overwhelming like a D300 where it's going to just throw you professional settings right at you. The D90 kind of helps you. It's already like a leadway to these professional cameras. The D90 is great because you can make certain changes, you can see certain changes, and you can make those changes right away. If you have had this camera, please let others know in the comments what you think about it, because I'd love to read your stories. I just want to say thanks to everyone that's been watching these videos, because I do love reading your stories and experiences with these cameras. The Nikon DSLRs are amazing cameras because, like I said earlier, you have such a wide range of lenses. You have portrait lenses, telephoto lenses, lots of lenses to choose from, and just have fun with it and go from there, especially if you're on a budget. Because I know a lot of cameras nowadays, they're pushing like you need the latest and greatest to be the latest and greatest. But in my experiences, you don't need the latest and greatest to create great photos. You just need the camera that's in your hands and just have fun with it. For real. That's the end of the day. Just have fun with it and be creative. If you bought one brand new and used to have it, let me know in the comments, because I don't know any original Nikon D90 owners, because they've either sold it or they've kept it and it's somewhere and they lost it or whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Just want to say thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate you watching. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, because that does help my channel grow. And if you have any questions about the D90 or lenses with it or lenses for it, let me know and I'll try my best to help. And yeah, thanks everyone. See ya.